Let me just make sure that's going. Looks good. Probably. YouTube, catch up. There we go. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Engage Season 5 post-season press conference. Got a few members of the team here. That's Matson in the middle. Interesting nickname. But either way, got a few questions for these guys. Actually, where'd they go? Like 9 or 10 questions, surprisingly. Although I think a few overlap. So I guess we'll just start from the beginning since actually Drowsy and Matson are here. So what in particular happened like with the drafts? Like did you guys end up like getting the team you wanted? Did like everything just not work out after the draft? Like what kind of happened in the early season?
I think as far as the draft, it was a 50-50. Like we knew we were sixth place, so we were probably gonna get the lower end of like what we wanted the first round. But we had the first, second round pick, and I think that went really well, just copying optical early. But just being last pick in the first round, we missed out on like a lot of especially main tanks because that was like the premium role because there were some really good ones, and then the pool got a little shorter like towards the bottom. But I think we got good value getting Marlon late and everything, but missing out on like an epic shock or a Crake or
Well, you
stuff
might
like
you
that
might
hurt a
attach
little
a
bit.
bullet with that second one, according to Beach Ball. If you ask
Yeah.
him, depends, I
Awful.
guess. But let's see. I forget who asked this. Let me double check.
Yeah, I think overall in drafts like it wasn't. I don't think we like did too bad. I think we did all right. I think if the early season went better, we would have been better. But like the first few weeks went bad, and then mentals went, and then it was pretty much over from there.
So, for, like aside from not getting the chance to grab like one of the front runner main tanks, would you say you'd want to like change anything about the draft if you could go back, or was that like really the only thing?
Well, we couldn't find a good third DPS. Like, we wanted to get Femi at the start because he'd be able to sub for 2 roles. And then he got picked like 2 picks before our time, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah, we just like didn't have a backup DPS like at all for I forget how long.
until we picked up Emma from free agency or the mid-season draft.
think the mid-season draft.
Yeah, until then we didn't really have another backup there, which was like I don't think it bait us that much, but it was a little rough, just not having the consistency to be able to scrim all the time. Because like we were, if either of our DPS missed, it was always like a ringer or something.
So, would you say that's something? Looking at the original draft, I have it up on my other monitor. You guys actually only went to round 9, which is like the second smallest draft we had, I think, or well, tied with a few other teams for second smallest. But out of those, you guys did arguably the worst in the first couple of weeks. I don't think it's cruel to say that. So, like, would you say you would have like if you could go back, you'd like grab another random DPS just to have someone as opposed to no one?
Not necessarily.
Um,
I don't think that was a
who did we
problem.
who
Like
did we
we
play
went
on
to
DPS when Optical wasn't there? I forget.
um.
Oh wait,
Um,
no, we had
Remy,
Kyrith
right?
that one
yeah, we
It was
had
time.
Remy,
Curious.
right? Well, no, Kieran showed up to the one scrim and then
No,
didn't show up.
he played in game.
Okay, he played the
Um,
one game, then still not being there for the rest of the season, but that's whatever.
It is
Um,
what it
as
is.
far as like the first 3 weeks, I don't think we missed a DPS really, because like that
yeah,
was the time when we went to a map 6 and 2 map 5s, and it
yeah,
wasn't
those were
skill
not
that
a
held us back.
DPS
It was
issue.
literally our mental like ad split. We just couldn't handle going down long series, and then like mental broke down and we lost because of that.
Why would you say like do like specifically? Why would you say that is that you couldn't handle like the longer series? Was it just like people not jiving, or
A little
like
of
people
that.
tilting?
That
It's
one.
a little of everything. A little like some personalities clashed a tiny bit, and it was like some of people had little things get to them over like 4 maps. So like map 1, something funny happens. Oh, whatever, like it happens. But by map 4, that's the reason for them to like have a moment. It's like people, I don't know, mental just kind of deteriorates over the longer map or longer series, and that was something that really bit us when we were on map 5 and map 6 every week.
Would you say there was ever like a situation in like the earlier weeks where someone like actually did just like blow up, or was it always just kind of like remained kind of calm but also passive aggressive?
I think
Yeah.
it was. I think we. I think it was just passive aggressive. I think we were like, our expectations were like really high. So if we faced like a little bit, like any type of adversity, we were just like, we just didn't handle it well. We just thought we were like, oh, we should just go into this match in 3-0, which is the mindset to have. But if we like lose a map, I feel like we just lost the series, at least in the beginning of the season.
So I have to ask then, because obviously the first 2 weeks you did, let's see, week one you had the map 6 against Beach Ball where you very narrowly lost. The following week you faced Melbourne, map 5, and then week 3 you finally won your first game against the Lobsters, but that was also map 5. So how was like the Lobsters game behind the scenes? Was everyone like just stressed out, wanted to get it over with at that point, or were you like actually pretty happy to get that first win on the board?
I think we were happy, but it was kind of like a beginning of the end thing where we realized like looking at like who we had and everything, but I think a lot of people realized like, damn, we shouldn't be in a map 5 every week. Like it should be going better than this. And then that's probably the first reason where people, or first week when people started bringing up unhappiness to me and like started to ask me to like look for trades and stuff like that. I think that's the when all that started. Even though we won, some people's mentals couldn't make it through that.
What was the game after that?
That was after that was the mid-season tournament.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's when you
yeah,
faced
yeah.
Lobsters again, except they 3-0'd you.
Yeah.
That was the start of the Lobsters
Yeah,
redemption
I mean,
arc.
when you go from map 5 to getting 3-0'd in 1 week, it shows a little bit of we had the same people. Same people showed up to play, but we didn't play the same.
Mental boomage.
Just couldn't close it out. And actually, looking at your registry, I completely forgot that you guys did have coaches, specifically like Tyler and iMustache. Like, what kind of contributions, if any, were they making, or were they just kind of like boomed alongside you?
Think like
I showed up. Tyler didn't.
Yeah, Grim showed up sometimes.
Showed up at the start. Didn't like it after then. I'm blaming him.
So most of the mid-season, pretty much after week 2 or week 3, was me trying to keep it together till later when I came. But at that point, we'd pretty much lost everyone, and we were in that like constant rebuild for the last couple weeks. But I did what he could.
I was good, I would say.
I mean, I spent so much time reviewing you and stuff. Like y'all were in a VC for like every day.
Yep, that was fun. Love that.
So I guess like going into that like mid/late season rebuild, what was like the focus? Were you just looking for people to fill spots so that you could just kind of chill and have fun, or you're like looking to actually maybe make a serious run as like a dark horse?
I mean, my goal was to rebuild, maybe gain some strength at those positions we were lacking, like at our main tank spot, and like trade away some stuff. Like, I mean, you can go back in the chats and like you can see me for weeks asking for trades, but I didn't get offers, which is, I mean, fair. No one really wants players from like the second worst team, but like I didn't get any offers till I dropped everyone, and then people were like just taking people that I dropped, which like I could have been a dick and said no, like I dropped them, they're not playing, but like who would do that? So let them play, but like they went to other teams for free on the most part. I just couldn't get value back for who I gave, so it turned out to be like we'll get who we can to fill the spot and finish the season and just try to have fun. But I would have preferred us to be more competitive towards the end.
All right. Did you guys actually have like another main tank besides Marlin? I can't think of who else would have played main tank.
We had Fieskin, who's more of an off tank player, but like when Marlin couldn't show up, Fieskin would. But yeah, Marlin was our only like true main tank player.
Every time I think of Fieskin, I think of like season 2. Oh god, Vitalize? I think it was.
Yep.
and they were DPS back then mostly. It's hard for me to think like, oh yeah, tank player. Let's see, I don't know who asked this question, but someone said, why play ball comp sometimes? Is it a comfort pick or just because it's good?
The mix. And from like the staff perspective, like it was the comp that we were the most vocal on, which is a little goofy because like everyone's doing their own thing, but like we were vocal on that comp and we were confident individually on the heroes that we were playing in that comp.
Yes.
Plus a little bit of it being good and like
It was for me. It's mostly the I don't think it's really comfort, because that kind of implies that at least like on individual heroes we couldn't play other things. It's more of I think that at least my thought process was the players we have that are good at these heroes, and look at that, this comp exists where you play all these. You gotta remember, like Kareem's not good at Lucia, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Kareem's not good at that
No.
one. And what
Not
I
good on that
remember, like specifically from Pugs, was him having like good mercy movement, and then also like his break, he could like kind of think on the character, right? So there's that. It's like I play like the main DPS in those comps. Like I thought the Galactical was a good tracer. It's just like, and then Marlon had also like seemed like he was a good ball when he did watch it. So and I just had already played with Remy before, and I know that he's a really good diva. So I'm like, okay, like this like kind of works perfectly almost. At least like hero pool wise.
All right. So I'll throw a little bit of a hypothetical out there. So say you guys do go to like that map 6 still in week 1 against Beach Ball, but instead of losing it, you actually win. How would you think that would like change your entire season, or do you think it would just be the same because you guys had trouble closing it out and that would still lead to the same tilt?
Was Beach Ball first or second game?
That
Beach Ball was our
first.
first one. That was the map
I don't
six.
think that one would change too much. I think the one right after though
Mirk
would.
or Melbourne.
The Marlin one hand game. I
Yeah,
forget
because
who
like
it
the
was
first
against.
game was Marlin one hand.
Oh wait, it was Beach Ball.
Honestly,
Was the
Yeah.
one hand game? Okay.
Yeah.
honestly, I think that would have helped our mental actually. That first game at least,
I mean,
because
maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think
It's
both of
technically the
them
first
would
game.
have.
I don't think like.
I think the
I think
second
the
one would have
second
been better
one.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think both of them would have helped, like in the long run. But like, I think the second one definitely would have helped more. Because I think I'm not sure actually. Because I think we rated Melbourne higher than Beach Ball, like in between ourselves at the beginning, and we were like expecting to do better against Beach Ball than we did against Melbourne, which I guess we did, but like map 6, but like marginally. So I think that one was a little rough to go
They
through.
were
like-
both games that we went 2-1 up in, right? Or am I misremembering?
Yeah, Melbourne we were up 2-0 actually on that
Really?
game.
We got reversed with that game? I don't remember.
we
Yes.
never got reverse swept. We always got one in the middle.
Wait, we did?
No, yeah, we never got reverse swept. I'm pretty sure one of them we went up 2-1, then the other one we were down 1-2. But I don't remember the order. I think it was Beach Ball where we were up 2-1.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were. That is true.
I had another
I
question.
think
to bounce
like
off
one of
that,
the.
but I forgot.
Sorry, what's up?
I had another question to bounce off of that, but I forgot what it was.
I'll fill some space while you're thinking, because a big part of what our mental like collapse was, especially in the later weeks, was like something I talked to like I about a lot when you were like watching scrims and stuff. Is that like it became hard for us because we came so close to winning and would lose at the end so much that like it became hard for us to believe we could turn things around and we could win. Like there were times I would be like in chatting with Optical during games and during scrims, and I'm like, yo, if we lose this map or we lose this fight, well, like we're probably losing the series because this is like our turning point. We're like, damn, if we lose this one, our faith in ourselves is gone. And 9 times out of 10, that would end up happening.
Wow. Manifestation.
My bad. Yeah, I cursed y'all. I hit you with a bad juju.
So, in like the preseason, I didn't pay too much attention to tier lists, but I did a little bit for intermediate, and it seemed like people had you guys placed like towards like the top half at the very least. I saw quite a few placing you in like the top 2. Would you say any of those placements put any like extra pressure on you to perform, or is it just mostly like expectations for yourselves?
No, not for our team
I
because
personally only care about what I think. I don't know
Yeah.
about other people then.
the only person that
Oh.
was looking at tier lists on our team was me. So everyone
Yeah,
else was not looking at that.
You were a
Kareem
tier
was a
list
tier list
fiend,
fiend.
bro.
I was a tier list Terry on the only one on our team that was a tier list Terry. I will say.
I mean, like you can even go back to my tier list at like after post draft. I put us second. I said like we're probably gonna lose to beach ball, but by the end of the season we'll be better. That was like what I was thinking going into the season. Like our draft didn't go perfect, whatever. Like it's gonna be a developmental team. As long as we like keep working hard throughout the season, I think we'll be good at the end. But we're gonna need a little time to get better, right? And half of that was right. But like I don't know. It's one of those things where like I think we started out towards the middle, which is fair, but it was either we go like way boom or way bust from there, and went a little busty.
So I guess the obvious question then is like, what do you think needed to change? Like, do you think you needed more active coaching staff, or just like, I don't know, different players, or like try and cut down on the booming?
Apart from it not being a good mix of players and people having their mental issues, I think what was probably the biggest problem was literally just a lack of I mean, I don't want to say lack of coaching in general, because Drowsy showed up when he could, and I showed up a lot. Like he showed up the most despite being EU, unfortunately. But I like a lot of things that I remember are say that like for example with our ball, right? Where we would fuck up a lot because okay, Marlon doesn't know like exactly how to go in on the character. Like Marlon would pretty much always go in from the front. He would never be unscouted for his engage, right? And I'm always like, hey, like we need to work to fix this. Like this is something that cannot keep happening. And I don't like I may be wrong about this because obviously I'm not Marlon and I'm not like a coach on the team, but I don't think anyone ever like worked with him one on one to try to fix any of those issues. And I think the only person that did get any one on one help was Kareem. I think Harry got some at some point, but it wasn't a very common thing, I want to say.
I think part of
And
that
then we
was
did just have like some scrims where it was literally just us, like the players.
I think part of that was like coaches not being available all the time. Part of it was like when help was extended, some people just didn't really make the effort to go out and like get it. But it was definitely like parts from both sides where like half of our coaches weren't there most of the time, but then like half the players also sometimes didn't really do anything past showing up to scrims and games, which is like I don't know.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, like Kareem asked for help after every single scrim and was constantly getting VODs, and I think he's like our most improved player from the beginning to the end of the season.
Yeah, I just didn't want to suck ass. I wanted to.
Yeah, and you still blow. That's wild.
I know it's crazy.
Hey, it's okay. Zera started season 0 as a Pharah Genji Plat 2 trick and is now top 3 in contenders. So don't let your dreams be memes. I don't know. There's something inspirational.
That League
in
Zero
that.
magic.
There's still hopium. I actually forgot the question, but I was gonna answer it.
Let's see. That's most of the serious questions. We have a few like half memey ones. Dux asks.
Oh boy.
You know it's gonna be a good question. It's from Dux. Why did you get rid of my bestest and most handsome and tallest friend? He is the best player ever and is much taller and hotter than me. I would not have gotten rid of him. I think I know who he's talking about, but
Probably optical
Optical trash.
together.
Oh my.
I mean,
Yeah, we're not
I mean, do we now like we go into it really? Do we?
No, he was just.
I mean, he just wanted to leave.
I mean, I know what happened.
I mean,
because we were watching that situation closely.
yeah.
Hey, perfect
There was
timing. We just
Oh, Dux.
Oh my god, Dux.
Hate them?
My
literally
king.
just asked your question. That's funny.
Well, when your name could be turned into optical trash, then that kind of answers the question. You know. I don't know what to say.
Damn. We're
Had to
starting
do it
beef
to
in the
him.
postseason conference.
I mean, did you watch the beach ball one? It was just like 20 minutes of them shitting on Craig, so
Nah, I didn't watch them.
It's pretty funny. They just vented so much.
Okay, well,
Oh, yeah, I was watching that
if
one.
we're venting, I got some shit to say.
No, Optical,
Like,
no, Optical I liked Optical personally. I understood why he left.
as a personality, yeah. As a player, it gets, you know, it gets murky when you played with him. Like, great guy.
Yeah. I kind of understand where his frustration came from, because I think we were all frustrated like the same way, but
Yeah, but some people can handle it and some people can't. Like, some people can, work through those issues and others can't. And this, yeah. Well, like, you remember how Madsen was the first couple weeks of the season at not talking to people like a normal human being, but like I took him aside and made him work, and he got better throughout the season. Some people don't.
That's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
Actually, speaking of Madsen, during the All-Star voting, you guys obviously ended up voting for Madsen as like the team MVP. So I guess like why him in particular? Like what brought him to be recognized by enough of the team?
I voted for myself, so I can't answer that question. I can't answer that question.
I mean, as far as gameplay goes, like Madsen shoots things good, but like we had more than one player who shot things good. But Madsen, over the course of the season, went from a guy who shoots things good and like turned that into like being a leader. And I think that's what mattered more than anything. It's like him, growing his personality and growing like as a player more than just like being the guy who shoots things the best.
Was this your first season, Madsen? Was this your first season as like a captain? I don't remember.
As captain, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I think it was also Madsen's first time being the best player on his team, and I think that was a big adjustment because usually
that's happened to get about actually. It's never fun.
Yeah, no, I personally don't like being the best player on my team because it aggravates me to no end. But like that only happens like very rarely because I'm not good at the game.
Come on, guys! I'm saying right here, the best player. What the heck?
My fault.
Hey, you already sang your praises. Ducks. I'm sure your entire team would have something else to say about that.
Oh wait, Corbs asked me why am I the GOAT, but he's not here anymore. Dang it. I can't answer that question now.
You didn't put it in the form, so I don't have it.
I was in this stage chat. Damn.
Oh, that was like before we started, I think.
Damn.
That is pretty much all the questions that I've got for you, though. Do you have any of you have any like closing statements, thoughts on the season, etc.? Meerkat guy, I haven't scheduled the Meerkat conference yet, or I guess they haven't scheduled it yet.
I mean, so this was like my first, I guess, time ever doing something like this, like playing in a team setting, and it was interesting. Not what I expected. The work I had to put in. I mean, not that it like kind of became of anything at the end, but dang, I was surprised how hard it was actually playing on a team. That's all.
It's not this hard, but there were some extra challenges. I think my like general thoughts by the end were just like a mix of like some bad luck and just some like unforeseen struggles, like personalities clashing, stuff like that. But like overall, I didn't expect us to like make a run like Tenacity did, where like they were strong the entire season and like just kind of stomped everyone till the finals or whatever. But I think it was a little bit of a disappointment from what I was hoping for this team because like we had pieces and like there was potential, but it didn't end up coming to fruition, which is like the worst part for me. Is like I don't care as much that like our record's not great or whatever, but like we didn't get to be the team that we could have been, and that kind of sucks.
We had Marlon on one hand. We had Remy leave Brazil. He escaped. What else? There was a lot of really dumb things that happened.
Yeah. If we won that game with Marlon playing one-handed, that would have been like the story of the year. I would have loved that. but unfortunately,
So-
map 6 funny.
How is he playing one-handed? I don't.
Okay,
He's
so
got
like
everything on
you
his
know those
mouse.
mouse, like, you know those mice that like League of Legends players have, where like all the buttons are on one hand. Like
Yeah.
so, his mouse had
kinda.
a bunch of buttons, right? So he mapped all his movement and abilities to his mouse,
Why?
and played with just his mouse and hit all the movement and abilities on that one hand.
Why though?
Apparently, he had nerd damage.
Yeah,
Apparently
it's a
nerve
nerve
damage or
disorder
something.
thing.
Yeah, he had like nerve issues.
And he had just come back from a like doctor thing. I forget exactly what he said. But his hand was still like out. Like he had gotten anesthetics on it. Or no. It was like I forget what it was. Something like his hand like got electric shock through it or something like that. And he still couldn't like feel his hand, and it was like insanely twitchy and stuff.
Yeah, so he only had control of one hand, and he used that
Yeah.
to play our first match of the season.
Well, unfortunate. The fact that he went to map 6 with that is actually pretty
It was so funny, dude.
That
Yeah,
was arguably our
It
best
just
game.
doesn't look like he's playing on one hand.
Dude, I think that was our best game because we were so
That was-
determined
yeah.
to win it because of Marlon's hand. We're like,
Yeah,
we tried
I'm
so
telling you.
hard
I'm
that
telling you, if we
game.
win that game, we go 6-0. We win the whole. We win the whole league. I'm telling you. If he wins with one hand, we win the whole season.
Like, if we won that game, we definitely wouldn't have been 1-5.
That's not the
We would have been
second
at
one in
least
grand
2-4.
finals.
Let's go.
Yeah, facts.
All right. Well, I think that is good enough. I actually dragged it out for about 20 some odd minutes. That's pretty good.
Yep.
I always hate
That's
it when
pretty
like the occasional advanced team just gives like one word answers and you're done in like 10 minutes. Like, oh, okay, bye. But you guys actually were good sports about it. So thank you all for watching. Target, once again, good to see you in the audience thus far. I think you're like 7 for 7 on every single press conference or something like that. He's made it for at
Just
least,
putting in the work.
I think, for like every single one thus far. I don't remember which one's tomorrow. I think lobsters. I have the schedule right here. Yeah, lobsters. So,
The Louis lobster.
well, I would hope Turget's there for that one. It'd be funny if he wasn't, though. That was either way. Thank you all for watching, and yeah.